Hello guys, today we are going to be talking about the new MacBook Pro 2017. Now, the Touch Bar and Touch ID I will be mentioning, but I'll be talking towards everything over here. Now, let's see, the 2017 version of the better than the 2016 version is just that it has Kaby Lake processors instead of that 7th gen Intel Core. Instead of the 6th gen Skylake processors. My MacBook Air is now running 5th gen Intel Core processors. That is a problem, but the MacBook Pro has the latest features now. Now, let's look at the battery life for this. It says 10 hours, but I've seen other YouTubers, I've seen other YouTubers say that it's only 7 to 8 hours of battery life, and if you do hardcore video editing, it drains down to 5 to 6 in, but the 15-inch supposedly carries the battery life better from other tech tubers I've listened. And the thinness on this thing is amazing now. Like on the model before that, like not the 2016 but the 2015 model, it used to be a bit bulky for my liking, but now it's amazing. 13-inch model, 3 pounds. 15-inch model, 4 pounds. Both of them almost the same, then 0.6 millimeter difference. Sorry, I said millimeter. Touch bar and Touch ID. It's nice. It's a nice feature, but it's overpriced. That's what I don't like. Of course, it's going to give you like whoa and ahs and oohs from your friends if you take it into your college. But is it worth breaking your brain for that? No, I think it's not worth it. But I believe Apple will for sure make this feature not overpriced anymore. I hope they do. Please, 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 please do that. Because the average consumer does not want to spend $1,800 just for a Touch Bar and Touch ID. It's just how people act these days. I mean, it's just how it goes. And one thing I don't like about the 13-inch is that it doesn't have a Radeon Pro graphics chip, just like the 15-inch MacBook Pro. One of the reasons 15-inch MacBook Pro starts at more than $2,300, that is just, that's a lot. And I think that, it just has the new butterfly mechanism. I'm personally okay with the Butterfly 2, but the Butterfly 1, I cannot. You know me about the Butterfly 1, I hate that thing. It's so annoying. I still prefer the traditional keyboard, but for Apple's purposes, I'm fine with the Butterfly 2. I tried it out, and it's pretty good. It's okay. And the speakers on these things are so loud. They're like, you don't need an external speaker. I mean, you do, but it's really loud. Oh my god, it's just so loud. And the trackpad, Apple's the king at making trackpads. Their new trackpad Force Touch, it's huge, 2 times the size, I believe. It's really nice. And one thing I don't like about it, except price, of course, is Thunderbolt 3 USB Type-C. Now, I have to admit, the Galaxy S8 Pixel, a lot of phones and a lot of displays do have USB Type-C compatibility, but I don't think they should have gone overboard with doing everything USB Type-C. I know, like the old MacBook Pro used to have such a nice variety, like SD card slot. I use that a lot, so it's a letdown. I know there's docks and dongles for everything, but they're going the iPhone 7 style again. Headphone jack, you need lightning, headphone 3.5, blah, 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 blah. And the 13-inch model really isn't pro, I would say. The 15-inch model, on the other hand, is pro. Like, that's just killing it. And I know, some people might say, you're paying premium for Mac OS, but really, Apple is a little overpriced on their products, though I like Mac OS way better. Let's look at the specs. Now, 13-inch without the touch bar starts at $12.99. They come at both. Every MacBook Pro comes in silver and space gray. I think that's the best thing. I would go for space gray, as I just like gray better than silver. It's just my opinion. And with the $12.99 version, you get 128 gigabytes of flash storage. You get a slower processor with 2.3 gigahertz instead of the 3.1 gigahertz on the touch bar. Same display, same trackpad, but 128. The touch bar comes with 256 gigs of SSD. Same RAM. The touch bar variant has a slightly better graphics processor, and this is another selling point for the touch bar version. It has 4 USB Type-C ports. This one only has 2. That's a little disturbing, and that's actually pretty much it. Oh no, another one is that it has, the base one has 2 microphones, but the touch bar one has 3 microphones. I don't know. And I don't know, yeah, that's pretty much it. Now let's look at the pricing of these models. And the 15-inch one, yeah, I actually want to look at the 15-inch specs before we go to the pricing. $23.99 for the base model. All models have touch bar with Touch ID integrated. 15.4-inch display. 2.8 gigahertz. If you upgrade, 2.9 gigahertz. Comes base with 256 gigabytes of storage, SSD, pixel-based. 16 gigs of RAM, Radeon Pro 555, which is an amazing processor. You can upgrade to the 560, but I do not want to upgrade that, because that brings you to a hefty price of $400 more for 256 gigs more of storage, SSD, Radeon Pro 560. But it comes with 4 gigabytes of GDDR5 memory instead of 2 gigs of GDDR5 memory, which is a plus point. I have to admit, it is. Well, nobody's really going to use that much, I'm just going to say, except for the actual pro users. And the stereo speakers are even better than the 13-inch MacBook Pro on the 15-inch, as they have more speaker grill and more speaker quality. It's a little bit better, but you probably won't find the difference. I mean, you will, but just a little bit. Now, let's go to the pricing of all of these. Prepare yourself to be flabbergasted by this price. Now, let's start with 13-inch. For $12.99, it's actually really cheap compared to what they had last year. You get 128 gigs of SSD, all of the new features, no touch bar, no touch ID, and a 2.3 gigahertz Kaby Lake i5 processor. And if you upgrade to the $14.99 version, you get everything you get on the other $12.99 version, but with 256 gigs of SSD instead of 128. And if you upgrade to the touch bar and touch ID, you get a faster 3.1 gigahertz processor, Kaby Lake still i5, 8 gigs of RAM just like the other ones, 256 gigs of storage, a better graphics card, more USB Type-C ports, 2 to be exact, touch bar and touch ID, which is the selling point for this version. And if you upgrade to the $19.99 version, they have to make it below $2,000 just so people get attracted. Marketing. You get 512 gigs of storage, which is basically the only difference with the base touch bar and touch ID 13-inch to upgraded touch bar and touch ID. What would I recommend? I would recommend getting the $14.99 version, as 128 gigs of storage isn't not. I'm just gonna say 256, even for the normal worker, is necessary. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Now let's go for the 15-inch models. There's the base model, $23.99. Whoa. Only 256 gigs of storage, but 16 gigs of RAM. Comes with Radeon Pro graphics, better than 13-inch. Comes with a nice big 15-inch processor. Display. Got so confused. But it comes with the 2.8 gigahertz Kaby Lake i7 processor, which is better. 2 gigs GDDR5 RAM. And Max version, I mean, you can get the $4,000 maxed version, but it comes with a slightly better, very, very, very slightly better processor, 2.9 gigahertz, Cable Lake i7 processor, 16 gigs of RAM, 512 gigs of storage, which is basically the same point. 2 more gigs of GDDR5 RAM, and Radeon Pro 560 from Radeon Pro 555. You're probably not going to find the difference. And for $400 more, I would not recommend that. And if you're really looking for a 15-inch MacBook, Apple does have another 15-inch MacBook available. It's a 2015 model without Touch Bar or Touch ID. It comes at $19.99. 16 gigs of RAM, quad core, but it's just a 2.2 gigahertz processor, Intel Core i7, 256 gigs of storage, Iris Pro. You get a lot of ports on this one, so if you're really keen about ports, get the $19.99. And you can find the 13-inch 2015 MacBook Pro out there too, so you might want to look into that if you're a ports guy. Me, personally, I don't use a lot of ports. I have a dongle anyway, so it doesn't matter. If you're looking for a 13-inch, I already recommended you the $14.99 version. If you're looking for the 15-inch model, I would recommend the $23.99 model, as the $19.99 one is slower. And if you want to be the king of your friends, go for the $23.99. But if you're just looking for that day-to-day laptop, want to have the latest things, don't need the Touch Bar or the Touch ID, go for the $14.99. And if you don't even need 256 gigs of SSD, go for the $12.99. Would I recommend this product? Yes, it's a very nice product, and I believe that it's probably going to be the future of laptops. But you pay the premium for Apple's build. Apple builds the laptops way better than anybody else. It's just how it goes. Like, the metal finish on the laptops are premiums. Carbon fiber on the XPS 13 and Alcantara finish on the Surface is a close one, but nobody makes it better than Apple, in my perspective. Some people might be thinking different, but there you have it. I recommend the MacBook Pro for you guys, and until next time, bye-bye.